away for so long from sweet Hawaii. My love, my love, my love. Why do you wanna go? Why you wanna go away? So far away.
Aloha, everybody. I am Rebecca Cummings, publisher of the Kailua Town magazine, and I am so excited to be sitting down with Irie Love here at the Classic Waves Downtown Boutique. Thank you, Lori, for hosting us and sponsoring this episode. And thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
I'm so excited to talk with you.
Yes.
How are you doing?
I am well.
It's been, when we talked about this a month-ish ago, things were happening, but things have happened since then that were a surprise to everyone. And so we'll get into that. So I just want to start off by talking about you born and raised Kailua, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I was born at Castle Hospital.
Okay.
So literally in Kailua. And my family is pretty much in Aikahi. My immediate family, we kind of jumped around. We were a young family. My mom had me as a teenager. So, we were, Coconut Grove, Aikahi was kind of my two stomping grounds. I went to Kalaheo High School. And I did jump around to like Trinity in Monowili, which I heard is closing now. I'm not sure. Or changing over and not being a full school. I went to Punahou for 1 year.
Okay.
I went to Kailua Intermediate for 1 year.
Okay.
So my family's mostly Punahou family.
Okay.
But I went for 1 year, ended up losing my scholarship because of my dad got a raise at work. But 3 kids, you can't afford Punahou, period. So, so I went to Kalaheo, and I'm glad that I did because I still have friends from kindergarten. My Kailua girls, we paddled together at Lanikai. So it was really, I'm definitely a homegrown Kailua girl, I would say.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was growing up in Kailua like? Do you have good memories? Do you have...
That's such a loaded question, right? I definitely believe that we need to be open to change.
Sure.
Evolution is, and expansion is a part of the human experience.
It's the only certainty, right?
Right. So being flexible in that way, I think, is important, but there definitely has been a shift that's been a little disheartening for local people because of, people coming in and not necessarily assimilating to our culture and trying to shift what we are. Right. And that is the spirit of aloha. So trying to anchor that frequency in is really important to myself and, the girls that I grew up with and all of their families now. They all have children. I am childless by choice. I love being an auntie. So I get to float around a little bit more, but they're here boots on the ground, really experiencing the change. And it can be challenging at times, but also it's not that we don't want to share Hawaii,
right?
That's definitely not the frequency, but I think it's just maybe more of an education issue where we need to really, I love what Hawaiian Airlines did with their travel Pono video.
Yep.
I'm like, can we make that standard for anyone coming into Hawaii, maybe through the tourism board or something, like a traveling Pono educational, movement, if you will. So I have friends that work on the tourism board actually, and we're looking into making that a real thing.
Nice.
But ultimately, I grew up riding bikes and mom telling me to be home at dark or at a curfew in high school, and I would.
This podcast is brought to you by Classic Waves, an ocean-inspired boutique for island lovers with locations in Kailua and downtown Honolulu. Classic Waves offers timeless pieces for men and women, handcrafted jewelry and gift items that are made in Hawaii. Much of what is hanging in my closet actually comes from Classic Waves. I love the island prints, colors, and fabrics, and I get compliments every single time, literally, that I wear a piece from Classic Waves. Check them out at classicwaves.boutique, on Instagram at Classic Waves Boutique, and in person in Kailua Town and downtown Honolulu.
I remember I did a petition to make my curfew later. I was pretty official. And it passed, and so I got an extra hour.
Nice.
But I did come home and then sneak back out, because you know how it goes.
Yeah.
But, it was a time we didn't have social media and we were like rambling at ADs and parking at the top of H3 and just like hanging out. And it was such a beautiful time to grow up in Hawaii. So I'm so grateful that my childhood happened before even MySpace.
Yeah. I'm very glad that there wasn't social media when I was in high school and college.
Yeah,
I have friends that have a VHS tape of things and they've found it and I'm like, keep it.
I don't want to see.
Keep it away.
I know, we're like, oh my gosh, I'm glad things weren't documented like moment to moment.
Yeah.
Because that's when you're making silly mistakes in life, and it's better
Yeah.
to just have the stories.
Yeah.
Or I have a friend who, Tehani, I was queen of Kailua. She has books of our childhood and all these photographs.
Wow,
and we keep saying we're going to get together and have like a party.
Yeah,
Of just
look through everything.
Yeah, like going down memory lane. But
That would be...
yeah,
You
we
should do
definitely-
that.
I know.
You should do that.
I know. We keep talking about we got to do it, but it's like people have kids and football games and paddling and
Yeah.
so we'll get together at some point. But the
Make it
beauty
happen.
of growing up in Hawaii is still here, even with social media. So it's still a magical place to be. But I'm grateful that I grew up in the time that I did.
Mm-hmm. I hear you. It's awesome. Okay, so you Kalaheo High School, and then we were talking. You may have worked at Morning Brew. Like you just have your family has these connections to Kailua that are Kailua specific, right?
Yes.
So we were talking about Love's Bakery.
Yeah.
That was your family that founded it?
Yeah, my great grandfather, Robert Love.
Okay.
Yeah, my grandma is really good at genealogy.
Okay.
So she's actually written a little book for our family, tracing back as far as she could find, like a little research project that she just created for herself. And so I got to learn a lot about my family history in that way.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned when we were talking yesterday, Mid-Pac Country Club. What is that connection?
So one of my, I don't know if he was a great uncle or somebody in my family was one of the founding members of Mid-Pac.
Okay.
One of the founding members or creators of Meadow Gold.
Yeah. The dairy.
Yeah. Punahou School, Love's Bakery, of course.
Yeah.
And then as far as contemporary, Morning Brew is the Hanai family.
Yeah.
Peter, the Louis family, his in-laws were friends with my mom at Punahou, and she was there since kindergarten. Okay. So I used to go and do photo shoots at their beautiful home in Diamond Head, and just grew up around that family. So it was really beautiful when they were opening a coffee shop in Kailua, and it's been so successful, and I've performed there many times over the years. So I'm so grateful to have those places where it's like people of Hawaii being able to establish a long-running business in Hawaii.
It's really, it's great to see as someone who works with businesses and has been doing so for 11 years now. It just makes me happy when people are successful.
Absolutely.
And they can make it. And it gives other people just starting out sort of a template and like, this is possible.
Yeah.
I can do this.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
So that's awesome. So did you grow up singing? How did this career of yours, how did this journey sort of start?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, in Hawaii, we have Kanekapila, which is jam sessions, and then, of course, karaoke. I'm always singing karaoke with my friends. And so I did
Does
grow
anyone
up...
still sing karaoke with you?
Okay, so here's the thing. That's a good question. People ask that a lot.
I know musicians, and I'm like, you go, I'm not.
Yes, because when I go, I'm not going to perform.
Right.
I'm going to sing with everybody. So like we'll pick songs that we all can find harmonies, and we love to sing Bohemian Rhapsody at the end of the night, which gets wild. Because we're hitting all the notes. But sometimes I have my friend Nina, she'll bring instruments sometimes. Okay. So yeah, it's all for fun. Okay. I'm not trying to be the star of the show at all. It's all a collaborative effort.
I like it. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so growing up singing, how did you know that you had a voice? How did that evolve?
I would say my mom, first of all. She definitely saw music in me at a very young age. She definitely helped cultivate that and put me in voice lessons when I was about 9 or 10. And I trained operatically. So I trained for Italian opera.
Wow.
Up in Kaimoki with Betty. She's since passed away, but she was an incredible teacher, and I really was able to understand that my voice was an instrument. I was singing in church. My mom had me singing in church a lot, and I never really thought of it as a career. I always thought that I would be an athlete. Growing up in Hawaii, I'm 6 feet tall. I've always been tall since I came out the womb. So, coaches and people would always be like, oh, you play volleyball, you play basketball. And my dad was an NFL player. So I definitely leaned more towards that. And I still do love athletics. I did play all the way through college, but my junior year, I think it was, junior or senior year, I shattered my leg. And so I was like, I'm going to go to the WNBA. Like, that's my life goal. And it just came to a screeching halt. So I think it's a beautiful testament in life where nothing has to be an end. Sometimes the end is actually just a portal to a new beginning, right?
Yeah.
So because we sang all the time at karaoke and Kanekapila, my friends are like, no, you're good. You should sing for real. And I'm like... So I joined the Brown Bags to Stardom competition during the time that my leg wasn't working. And I won. And I think that was the pivotal moment where I was like, okay, it's not just my friends and my mom.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I actually can do this. And then shortly thereafter, we had Tower Records back then.
Yeah, I remember.
So they made life-size posters of me, and I was on the front of the Star Bulletin and all the things that we had back in the day.
Yeah.
And it just kind of grew and snowballed, and I just started this journey. And then I met Fiji.
How did you meet him?
So I've been trying to recall that exact moment because it's interesting because it feels like he was always in my life. Because I feel like without social media, we really start to become self-aware in high school age, I would say. Like more junior high school, what is it called?
Senior?
Middle school.
Oh, yeah.
What is that called?
Junior high? Middle school?
Middle school? Do we call it middle school?
It depends because some schools, and it's here and on the mainland, some schools are 6, 7, 8. Some schools are 7, 8, 9. Some schools are just 7, 8. I don't know.
Junior
high?
Yeah.
We know what that means.
You know what I mean? Like 6th, 7th, 8th grade. He's like, oh, I know who I am and I have opinions and and so that was around the time that I met him.
Okay.
So,
wow.
Yeah, so it feels like
So that's even before Brown Bags to Stardom, right?
Yeah.
Like way before. Okay.
Yeah. So then I did Brown Bags, and I just would show up to every show that he had, and he started to just invite me, and then I was going to Kanekapila with him at different people's homes, and he would just introduce me to everyone and teach me about humility and culture, and he definitely was a driving force for my career.
And your parents, they knew him? They were okay with you hanging out?
Yeah, it's so interesting that you asked that as well, because I did consider that. My stepfather, who actually just passed away 2 years ago, was a police officer my whole life.
Okay.
And
how was that growing up?
Yeah,
that's why you did a petition to increase your...
That was actually fun. For reasons that I probably can't say on the camera. But thanks, Dad, for having my back. I'm calling him every time I'm getting pulled over. But they let me, that's an interesting question that I have to talk to my mom about that, because they were definitely really strict as far as their parenting style. But there was something about Fiji where they would if Fiji was taking me or if I was going with him, they would let me go.
You were okay.
Yeah. And he definitely was an extremely safe person. But, the music industry brings a lot of different types of people around. So there were definitely other people that were probably not safe. But, people honored him in a way that, to me, he was royalty.
Yeah.
He is royalty. And that frequency that he had just would permeate a room. And his presence was palpable. And so people really shifted the way they behaved when he was in the space.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I learned so much from just the way that he carried himself.
Okay.
And I guess my parents maybe, they got to see me with him a lot. They would come to the shows and stuff.
Yeah.
So they knew who he was and how he moved and how much he really cared about me.
Okay, that's awesome. Very
Yeah.
cool. So, brown bags, that was when you were in college, right? End of college or end of high school?
Brown bags?
Yeah.
Brown bags was when I was 16.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so junior year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you shattered your leg, but you still went to play in college.
I did. So my leg healed. So I didn't get the chance to like perform for the Scouts that I really wanted to, but I did end up getting into several colleges and went to Azusa Pacific in California.
Okay.
That's where my stepdad was from. And so his mom, who was an incredible grandmother to us, Grandma Beth, she's since passed away as well. She lived close to that school.
Okay.
And so I was like, if I'm moving out of Hawaii, I want to be close to a grandma because then I can wash my clothes and get some food.
Yeah.
And she loved to stay up late and talk story.
Okay.
And just laugh about, she was just like literally sunshine in a person. So going there and playing was my choice because I got to be close to her. And I'm so grateful that I did because she ended up, she didn't live until she was really old. She was probably in her 70s, I think, when she passed.
Okay.
So I'm so grateful that I was led to have that time with her.
Yeah, that's very special.
Yeah.
And so when you were in college, were you also singing and performing? What did that look like?
So I was a music major.
Okay.
So I was taking piano. I was in 3 different choirs. I had voice lessons. I had music theory. And then I was a minor in business. So I was learning about like, honestly, I didn't really pay attention to that part, but
it's there.
It is there. Just like, admin type things that I would be learning about, like spreadsheets and things like that. But yeah, I was singing and playing sports full time. I would drive to Hollywood on the weekends and go to auditions or open mics or just trying to get into the industry that way. And then I ended up booking background singing gigs.
Okay.
So that was kind of what started really my professional career outside of Hawaii.
Got it.
I was performing professionally in Hawaii already before I went to college, but I definitely had, I wanted to be more of an R&B singer than a reggae singer.
Okay.
So I felt like I needed to do that outside of Hawaii. Now, the beautiful silver lining of the internet is that we have access to all genres and all styles of so many types of art because of the internet. So there is more of a space and an audience here in Hawaii for different things. But at the time, it was like strictly reggae.
Okay.
And my dad's dad has Jamaican heritage. My dad named me Irie. So, and reggae was my favorite genre of music. But I just felt like my mom had us listening to Celine Dion and Shaka Khan and Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to be an R&B singer.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to go to LA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is a fun story, just that your name is Irie Love. This didn't no one created this.
Not
This
a
is
stage
like-
name. I use
this
it on
is
the
your
stage,
name.
but
it's your name.
yeah.
That's very
It's
cool.
my real name. Yeah.
Okay. So why Irie? Why did your dad?
So his story is, my dad lives in Long Beach, California, so I see him often. I go up to LA a lot still.
Okay.
And he said when I was in utero, he would put headphones on my mom's stomach and play reggae music because he loved reggae and he wanted me to come out loving the music that he loved. He was 21, so he was a baby. And then he was obsessed with Third World, and they had this song called Irie Ites.
Okay.
And it's Irie Love, Irie Feeling. And it was like literally Irie Love became my name.
Yeah.
He didn't choose the love. The love is from Love's Bakery.
Yeah, yeah.
So that is all that he can remember. He's just like, I think my mom wanted to name me Jasmine, is what she says. And it's so funny because I know so many
Jasmine.
mixed race girls that are Jasmines. I'm like, Jasmine was the name of the curly girls. And I love all my Jasmines, but I'm so grateful that they gave me such a unique name.
Yeah.
And the meaning of the name too, because our name is the word that we hear the most in our entire life, right? People are speaking it, you're introducing, you're writing it. And words are spells. That's why it's called spelling.
Mm-hmm.
So the meaning behind my name is to be at the optimum sensation of your well-being, uninfluenced by anything outside of yourself. right? To be in full autonomy and sovereignty. And so I'm like, that's a big responsibility to try to live up to.
No, it's a big thing.
Because we do tend to, be influenced by everything around us, our environment, the people around us. But at the same time, I think it's a beautiful call to action for myself to anchor and remind me every time someone says my name, like, this is who you are.
Yeah, it's powerful.
Right? Like, how do you embody that energy?
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, a little side note, but I wanted to just bring it up. Okay, so you're in LA, you're doing background jobs for other bands. Was there anyone that you met there that also had an impact on you, or that you, like, not to the extent that Fiji had on you, but that you learned from or took important things away, or that was a special kind of relationship?
Yeah, I have a mentor who's actually still in my life, Lloyd. He is a 12 Tribes Rastafarian Jamaican guy, uncle. He's probably older than my parents, but not as old as my grandparents. So like right in the middle. And I met him at a reggae festival with my dad. My dad and I would always go to shows when I was in California. He took me to see some incredible artists too, now that I'm thinking about it, that I never would have gone to as a college kid.
Yeah.
Like different African artists that would come into town. Okay. And so I met Lloyd at a reggae festival that we went to in Long Beach. And he just had, you know how you can just see in someone's eyes, sometimes you can like feel their spirit through their eyes, right? He just had such a loving and kind and pure essence in his eyes. And him being Jamaican and, in LA, but fully in his culture, in his accent, in his practices of Rastafarianism, he was like, I would love to help you. And he's the one that helped me move to Jamaica, actually.
Okay.
And his brother there was kind of like my chauffeur, my chef, like my uncle over there. And he looked out for me and took me to the studio with Freddie McGregor and Stephen McGregor, who at the time was a 16-year-old prodigy producer.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And now he's a huge, successful pop producer in, I think he's in LA, New York, or Miami. I forget where he is. Yeah. But so yeah, Lloyd was my manager. He was my uncle. He was really the person that taught me about Jamaican culture.
Okay.
Yeah, organically. Okay. So it's really interesting too that my two most pivotal mentors in my life, Fiji and him, were such cultural practitioners.
Yeah.
Not just for music.
Right. Okay. Cool. So what was your first, how do I ask this? What was your first release or your first big, like, how did it, I'm getting the journey, but like, when were you like, okay, here it is, something's out there, for real, you can buy it.
Right, yeah. Quiet Storm Records was creating a reggae compilation at the time of established songs, and I was going to be introduced with these other artists that were already well-established reggae artists. So he put my picture on the CD cover, and he's the one that made the posters in Tower Records and all of that. And Ukla the Mock was actually my first band.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Ukla and I recorded a version of Tell Me Something Good by Shaka Khan, a reggae version. And that was like my first officially released recorded song.
Okay.
I was so nervous that I actually got strep throat before the recording. I think it was 16 or 17. But I definitely am someone who understands that, our bodies have responses to what's happening in our external, right? Everything that's happening in here is a result of or an effect of something that's happening outside. So because I use my throat as such a PowerPoint for my life, I think that's why I got the strep throat when I did. And I still recorded the song and we put it out, and it was my first song on Hawaiian radio and all of that. But yeah, that was I didn't go and record an album.
Okay.
It was the industry was already in a place where it was all about singles. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I have taken a step a little bit to performing. You in person are very calm and it's like peaceful. But on stage, I've watched you. You are a different animal. I mean, it's powerful and it's like, I'm here. And so was that always the case? Did you develop that? Like, what does that look like? What is being on stage? How is that different for you?
Yeah.
You know?
I would say it definitely took some time. I was definitely really nervous for the first, I don't know, decade of my career. I was performing all the time, so I would say at least every weekend.
Okay.
I was still in school, so, you know, I was busy during the week.
Yeah.
I was also under 21, and a lot of the venues were 21 and over, so they would like
Yeah.
put Sharpie on my hands to say that I'm under 21, but I'm allowed to sing. And sometimes my mom would come with me and we basically look nothing alike. So people would be like, oh, you're her manager? Okay. Oh, good, because we heard her mom was coming. And I'm like, that is my mom. But yeah, I think also just, I was actually really animated and boisterous first in my personality.
Okay.
And people used to always tell me to be a comedian, which I'm actually diving into finally.
Nice.
And when I go to LA, I started taking improv classes,
Okay.
and I have a new acting mentor that just came into my life through my Braid Girl. Shout out to Angie and C. Mickey. You just never know how someone's going to connect you to someone else. So it's so important to share what we love and our passions and our aspiring dreams, right? But yeah, I lost my train of thought now.
So being on stage.
Being on stage, my personality is something that definitely, it was an interesting way for me to bring who I was off stage, on stage, and then my offstage personality started to become more settled.
Yeah.
So it's almost like I could have that same expression that I would have with friends and everything as a kid, and have a way to animate that on stage.
Yeah.
But then to be more reserved in my everyday life. And I've also just become more of an observer.
Mm-hmm.
And I also learned that from Fiji, honestly, because he just would see everyone and know everyone's energy in a room without even speaking to them. Oh. And I was like, what a powerful skill to have, right? To have that level of awareness. So actually my biological father is also like that. So I had two men that were showing me this example of how to anchor in and really be in your own energy. And then I get this incredible platform where I get to just, inner child Irie is just out.
No, it's awesome.
Yeah.
But it is a different dynamic.
Yes.
From you, like just sitting down and talking
For
to you.
sure.
So going back to Fiji, was it always an idea that you guys would collaborate and do songs together, or like how did that sort of evolve? How did that happen?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was kind of I became his shadow.
Okay.
He would just invite me to go everywhere. So we were in studio all the time. And even when I wasn't singing, I would just be there and watch his process of him recording things, and also him helping a lot of other artists. I remember when J Boog first came to Hawaii, and he had me, singing backup vocals for him. I helped write a little bit of his albums and things here and there, singing backup parts for Fiji. So it was really just organic.
Okay.
I don't even remember there being a conversation.
Okay.
It was almost like, It Is What It Is was an idea that he had, and we recorded it in Carson.
Okay.
Which is kind of random. He had a lot of, Hanai family, and his boys were there, and he had a studio there, and I was in LA, and he's like, come to the studio and record your part. And I was like, okay. So he came up with It Is What It Is, the hook and everything. I just sang my part and sang the harmonies, but he would always guide me through arrangements. And anyone who's ever experienced Fiji in studio, he was like on the level of Prince, or like another, like Jimi Hendrix.
Okay.
Like these musical geniuses where when he would record his vocals, he would record one and silence it, and then record the next one and silence it. And where for someone like me, for people who don't know how recording processes work, I sing and then I listen to my part so I know how to harmonize with it, how to layer it. He would just have, I don't know, have them in his head, layer them, and then you play it all together and it was just, and you're like, how did you do that? How did you hear that? You know? And he's like, oh, I hear all the parts before I record them.
Wow.
So to be in that energy and to just be able to experience that in that way and absorb his mana was, I don't know, it's such a huge part of, I think, who I am as an artist.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So It Is What It Is. Is that the biggest?
That's the biggest
single
song we had together. Yeah.
Okay.
My biggest song to date is My Love,
Yeah.
which is also a funny story that's connected to Fiji.
Okay, let's go there.
So, he, was helping me to keep creating and keep writing. And I was always like, I'm not a writer. Like, I've never saw myself as a music writer. And he was like, you are and you can. You just need to keep doing it. You need to keep flexing that muscle, working that muscle, just like I do with my sports. So we had this beat and he was like, make a song for it and you need to hurry up. I don't know why he was rushing me. I don't know if it was a lesson he was trying to teach me at the time, but.
What year was this about?
2010.
Okay. Just to get a time frame.
2010, I want to say, around that time. And I was in the studio. Shout out to Dimitri, who now has the Rainforest Room, but we were in his original studio in Kailua, right near Aikahi. He's another Kailua boy. And I would go to his studio to record all my stuff. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I don't know what to write. And so I just wrote My Love in like 10 minutes. And recorded it and sent it to Fiji. And he starts laughing. And I'm like, I thought he was laughing because it's a silly song. He's like, this is going to be your biggest song.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, right. I took 10 minutes to write this song. Like, it just flowed right out of me, right? And it was really just, I wanted to write a song that was my story, which is I leave Hawaii all the time. Hawaii is such a beautiful place. I see how many local people have to move away because of financial reasons and how sad that makes all of us that we can't all just be here and grow up here and stay here. And just that whole journey. Yeah. And so I wanted to write a song that was easy for kids to sing, of how it feels to be from Hawaii. And he was right. It is my biggest song.
That's awesome.
So I'm sure he's still laughing up there. I miss his laugh.
That's awesome. Yeah. So that was another question I had. You didn't start writing songs. That was something that you were kind of encouraged to do.
Yeah. It developed over time. And I still don't see myself as like, the songs that I admire as good writing are on a level that I haven't accessed yet. I will say that. So I love to collaborate. My sister wrote a song for me called Sugar, which is on my latest album that came out in March. And she's an incredible writer. And so I'm happy to tap into anyone that wants to collaborate with me, because I think that's where we can really create magic, is when at least two people come together to create something.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. So you have a new album and you have a new single. Like, it's, I don't know what day it is. It's the end of July. Came out like last week.
Came out on an Aloha Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we're talking,
Yeah, 3 days ago.
Yeah. So your album, what's the name of, what's it called?
Yeah, so the album is Reflections.
Okay.
I recorded it in Paris with Matthew Boast of the infamous Boast and Bim. Boast and Bim has done a lot of big records, Grammy Award-winning records in the reggae field. And we recorded this song called In Another Life, like a long time ago, I think during COVID times. And it blew up in Germany without me knowing.
Okay.
And so my manager at the time was like, you should just work with him on a whole album since you had that chemistry. So long story endless, I went to Paris. I mean, who's going to pass up going to Paris for 2 months? And, it wasn't super luxurious. I stayed in an Airbnb and I lived like a local, which was really, really magical. And at the time, my father was in his process of passing away from cancer. So it was a really emotionally charged time as well. I was like FaceTiming with him as I'm going back and forth to the studio recording this album. And the album just flowed out of me. And so there's actually 2 parts to the album. Yeah. So we've only released the first part of the album. It's called Reflections Part 1.
Yeah.
And I now have a new distributor, which I know I keep bringing up Fiji, but he is a part of everything.
Yeah.
He basically was the one who encouraged me to join Precise. Precise, I'd heard about them from other friends in the music industry about all this beautiful work that they were doing to save the rights of the music for artists.
Yep.
And so I checked with Fiji and I was like, who are these guys? Are they legit? Like, is it a good idea? And he said, I'm helping everybody move over to Precise. And they're, he said, they're very honest.
Okay.
He's always a man of few words, sometimes lots, but sometimes he just gave you what he wants to give you and you do what you will.
Yeah.
And so if I get his approval, if he says anything positive, he says what he means.
Okay.
So they are helping me to, they got all my catalog back into my ownership, and we're going to be releasing the next half of the album before the end of this year. It's in process of mixing right now with Matthew in Paris. And the first single from the second half is Faith.
Yeah.
So that's the single that just dropped.
And the timing of that.
And the timing
is remarkable. I mean, it's like, it gives me goosebumps and like almost makes me want to tear up because the timing is like really, so you talk about that because that's
Yeah. I mean, as I was telling you earlier when we had our conversation yesterday, I think the way that the music industry works, you don't just like decide to release a song on that day. You have to like load it up for all the digital platforms. And so I think the minimum is 2 weeks out. So this we had planned and had it locked and loaded before Fiji passed.
Yeah.
And so, and then he had a song coming out as well, which is called One Way.
Mm-hmm.
And we dropped a song on the same distribution at the same time. And he passed only, 2 days before that, Wednesday. I actually also was getting this part of my tattoo. My hand is brand new. I was getting tattooed while he was making his transition.
Oh, wow.
And of course, I didn't find out until we were literally leaving the tattoo parlor. My sister and I, she also got a tattoo at the time. And we're leaving the tattoo parlor, and my sister, my Hanai sister, who was also very, very close with Fiji and sang with him as well, she called me and told me the news. And it was really very much like a Fiji thing that would happen for me to release that song and get a tattoo on that day. So I will always have him right here on my hand as a reminder that he is always with me. The left hand is the receiving hand. Okay. So I feel like with the Eva bird, it's like ancestors and protection, and that the wind and the sound that comes through, from the ancestors, it's guided and divinely protected and all of the beautiful things.
And the song is Faith.
Yeah.
The name of the song
Yeah.
is Faith. Yeah. And it's like the whole, it's just amazing.
It's so aligned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's just a really beautiful thing. I'm actually like tearing up. But I just think it's so beautiful. Yeah. And was Fiji involved in that song at all?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So this was all Matthew and I in Paris. And then Sarah Lugo, who is another incredible artist, singer, background vocalist, writer, all the things. She's a touring singer in France, and she tours all over Europe. She helped a lot on this album because she was in the space. So she would like take me to eat, and just like, she was kind of my girlfriend while I was in Paris. And so she helped, she's all the background vocals on this.
Okay.
A lot of the album, but particularly this song, it's her vocals.
Okay.
But I wrote this song myself with Matthew. He wrote the music, I wrote the lyrics and melody. And I was actually really looking forward to playing everything for Fiji. When I see him in September, we had the Homecoming Festival is coming up, which is his festival that he invited me to perform at this year. So I saw him at his birthday party here in Oahu. I think that was I can't remember when that was. I'll have to look back, but around his birthday, we had a big party for him in Waikiki. And the last picture that I have with him is on my Instagram, and that was that moment. And it's so funny because he didn't give me any details. I just knew about the party, and I knew that I had to go. So I brought my Hanai sis Melissa with me, and everyone's wearing black. The whole 2-story venue is wearing black. And I come in with a white dress. And so they immediately escort me to his side, and I'm standing there, and it felt like I was, you know, in Merry Monarch, how they have the royal court, and you kind of just sit there, and everyone comes and greets you. And it felt like that. And his daughters were there, and, you know, a lot of his family, and it was all these artists that have known him over the years.
Yeah.
Everyone came to pay their respects, and it was a really beautiful time where it was almost like we all knew that he was getting close, but I think when someone's getting close, you always hope you have another moment with them, right?
Yeah.
So I'm so grateful that we went and that we had that time together, because I wasn't going to see him again until September, which isn't here yet. So yeah.
So now you're still going to Fiji. This is now a memorial,
Yeah.
right, celebration for him.
Yeah, the promoters are still trying to figure out everything, because of course it causes a big change.
Sure.
But I think what he would want is for us to continue and create and honor him in that way by, you know, continuing to perform and release music.
Okay. So how do we find your single and your album? Like, how do we best support you that way?
Yeah, thank you. This is Irie Love is kind of my tag that I created a while ago. So my website and my handle for all the social medias is basically This is Irie Love. TikTok, which I'm not super prevalent on TikTok, but I'm doing my best, is Irie Love This Is, because I feel like it's the opposite of who I am.
Okay.
So it's the Yoda version. Irie Love This Is. So you can find me on there if you're of the demographic that likes TikTok.
Okay.
But yeah, my music is distributed worldwide on all platforms.
Okay.
So
Perfect. And then, excuse me, you have started Mana Wahine.
Yes,
So I want to talk
yes.
about that. What is that? And what was the inspiration for that?
Yes. So again, Fiji was my mentor, took me in, took me everywhere, never explained anything. He was just like, sing this, sit here, eat this, do that. And I'm like, okay.
Whatever you say.
Yeah. And so I wished that I had more women around me. There was
Okay.
always a lot of men. Amy Hanaiali'i and Robi Kahakalau were the only, and Cherie, of course, Cherie Kaina, who is working with me and helping me develop Mana Wahine, actually. She is my tita. Were the only women that were really around through my whole journey until now. And so I'm like, I want to create something where women have a place, run by women, guided by women, an exchange of women sharing mana'o and inviting them into experiences so that they can see like if this is really something they want to do. And if they do, they have guidance and someone who's been through things, so maybe they can skip some of the really crazy things that we've had to endure. So that was kind of the catalyst for me creating this. And then I've been working with the Mana Maoli Collective for almost 20 years, I want to say, which is a charity that was started. And it basically was a project to bring back Hawaiian culture, Hawaiian music, Hawaiian farming, and education for the children. And so working with them in mentorship with the kids on all islands for many, many years. There's a few girls from the program that graduated and are now professional singers. They're like from ages like 19 to 23.
Okay.
And I took an affinity to two girls, Bella and Tehani, and I just saw how beautiful it was that their relationship was exactly what I've always wanted, which is there was no competition between them.
Yeah.
They really genuinely want to see each other win in their own ways and working together sometimes and working individually. And I was like, this is the frequency.
Yeah.
I want to amplify this.
Yeah.
So we have our gatherings. We have another one coming up on August 30th at the Shangri-La Museum.
Okay.
I'm also opening it up to women that don't have to be singers and in music. Just if you're a creator, you're an entrepreneur, you're a young woman just seeking community. It's really just about empowering each other and creating a soft container, not a safe container, which I learned recently from Debbie Brown. We can't always say that a space is safe. Mm-hmm. Safety is different for everyone, but I want to create a soft container where we can be in our feminine energy and we all hold that same frequency and we empower each other. Yeah. So we are also doing a festival next year. We just had our first meeting for that, but that is coming together. I have shout out to Chardonnay and Trishna Lay and Kiana at Outrigger Paradise, who's helping support all of this and bring it to fruition. Big Island Grown, of course, Waiakea, my water sponsor, Mana Maoli Collective always supports everything that I do. But we are going to create a festival that is for women by women. So all the performers will be women, all the vendors will be women, or at least women owned. Not saying that men aren't allowed. I love my nieces and nephews and my uncles and everybody, but I just wanted to create a container where we have a space to be empowered.
Okay.
And also to share with each other in a way where we remember that nobody can take anything that you are unless you give it to them.
Yeah.
So holding that frequency where we can have, I don't even like the word competition.
Yeah.
Even in athletics, it's like, that was the only time that it kind of made sense, but I don't believe that it's necessary. You know, we can have, we can use each other as mirrors in different aspects of our lives, and how we can be inspired by each other, I think is beautiful. Like I said, I love to collaborate. The girls are singing on all my songs now too. And they're also like, I'm like, is this good? And they're like, yeah, girl, that's it. And I'm like, oh, okay. That's what kids like these days. Let's do it. So I'm learning from them as well. You know, there's no hierarchy.
Yeah.
So it's a really beautiful frequency that we're creating. And yeah, if there's anyone out there that knows a young woman who's looking for support, please reach out to me. I'm an open book. I'm easily accessible. So
okay, that's wonderful. So Mana Wahine, how do we find you? Instagram?
Yeah,
website?
so Mana Wahine Movement. It's on my main page. This is Irie Love. There's going to be links to everything I'm doing on there. And then, yeah, we don't have a website or anything yet, but please reach out to me on Instagram, or you can email me. This is irielove@gmail.com.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Okay, perfect. Last question, or one of the last, don't know where we are time-wise, but how has Hawaii received you and supported you? Has that been like primarily positive? What's kind of do you feel supported by?
That is a really great question that no one has ever asked me, I feel. If they have, I forgot. It's interesting because my family is, I don't know if people know this reference, but the United Colors of Benetton. Like, we have many different heritages represented in my family. And so because of that, I identify the most as Hawaiian because I was born and raised here, and this is my culture. And that part of my family is the part that I've resonated the most with as far as the persona that I've created, being Irie. But you know, I also have African and Jamaican heritage. I also have Indigenous American heritage. I also have European heritage. So it was tricky growing up at the time that we did. There was like 5 of us that had like African mixed descent that were born and raised Hawaiian as well. And we all are still friends. It's a small collective. And now I feel like the whole world is mixed, which is really beautiful. But at that time, it was challenging because it was like I would go to California and I wasn't fully identifying with the women of color there because their culture was different.
Yeah.
And they would tease me about being mixed. It was just a really interesting position that I've always had.
Yeah.
And my friend Ty and I, we like to call ourselves the bridge. A bridge of unity, a bridge of love, a bridge of unconditional love.
Yeah.
And so in music, I think people have been confused. And I think, like we do with many artists, we tend to make them be what we see them as. And I've had to release my personal attachment to that and allow people to create this persona for themselves, and also release myself of the kuleana, the responsibility of upholding that for them.
Right.
And just being authentically me without needing to explain why or how, just be me. And I think that too is that peaceful resonance that you are experiencing with me now. And my presence is, I've just decided to stop being what other people wanted me to be, and allowing people to ebb and flow out of my life, ebb and flow out of the way that they support me too. Sometimes people are all about you and then they're your haters. And I think, especially as someone who just decides to put themselves in the public eye the way that I have, that's a part of it. That's a part of the journey. And so I'm now at this stage in my life, I'm much more accepting of that. Okay. Not to say that it doesn't hurt.
Sure.
Nobody wants haters. But then there's this whole idea that if you don't make it until you have haters, right? Because it's like, to me, it's all about energy. And so when your energy becomes bigger, we're in the world of duality, an existence of duality. And so both sides are going to amplify. So as much as more people love me, more people are going to hate me. Yeah. And just understanding that it's only my job to hold that space in my frequency right at the center, and to not lean too much into the love and think that I'm better than anyone else, or that I deserve more, you know, or, oh my gosh, I need to fix myself because they don't love me. And if I did this, maybe they'd like me more. Maybe if I was more Hawaiian, or if I was more of a melanated woman from Philly type of vibe, I could be an R&B singer. It's like, I can just be who I am. Yeah. And the people that genuinely love me will be there. And that's the only people I really want around me anyway.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's a beautiful place to end.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Irie. This was wonderful. Thank you again to Classic Waves.
Yes.
They have dressed us, earrings, lei. I mean, we're here in the downtown space. There's also Kailua Town space right next to Morning Brew.
Yes.
Support Classic Waves. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening to us. Aloha.
When
the moon shines so full that the tides recede, all that hides from the light reveals. If you lose control of your conscious thought, then soon you will drown in fear.